Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A thoughtful welcome to you all again. We will directly move to the talk session without taking much of our time. For the discussion on the topic hands on lab training for artificial intelligence using machine learning, we have with us Professor Prabhas Ranjan Bal from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SOA University, Bhubaneswar. He holds an experience of visiting research scholar at Wageningen University and Research, Netherlands. He has done his PhD from IIT Roorkee and MTech in SE from NIT Rourkela. But most importantly, it's a matter of pride for us CETians that he is one of the alumni members of our own department, Department of MCA, CET Bhubaneswar. We are quite delighted to have him again with us. Let's welcome him and let's get started. I'll request Sir to proceed with his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to all. Okay, is it visible slide? Sorry.
Yes,
This
sir, it
is
is visible.
visible.
Okay. Today we'll discuss the hands-on lab training for artificial intelligence using machine learning. And actually, in this class, actually we'll discuss the practical implementation of machine learning. Any one technique. Okay. First thing, what is machine learning? Machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that provides systems the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. Machine learning generally focuses on the development of computer programs that can access data and use it to learn for themselves. The primary aim is to allow the computers to learn automatically without human intervention and assistance adjust actions accordingly. These are the some branches of artificial intelligence, or or we can say like some applications of machine learning. Sorry, artificial intelligence. For example, like this is the machine learning. It is also one of the application. Natural language processing, speech recognition, or deep learning, predictive analysis. Today, mainly we will discuss the classification or regression implementation. Today in this actually lab using Python. These are some applications of machine learning, face recognition, email spam detection, weather prediction, software fault prediction, sentiment analysis, and etc. These are some applications of machine learning. Uh, some types of machine learning methods. Generally, there are three types of machine learning methods. One is supervised, the second one is unsupervised, third one is reinforcement learning. Okay, first we will discuss what is the meaning of supervised learning. Supervised learning, machine learning algorithm can apply what has been learned in the past to the new data using labeled examples to predict the future events. For example, first one is the supervised learning. Supervised. The screen is visible or not? Sorry.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Supervised learning. For example, X has some points, suppose some samples or some instances like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. Suppose y is the dependent variable or some functions like y equal to f of x. F of x means y equal to f of x square, right? That is the value is the x square, means the output y equal to f of x square means 1, 2 means the value is 4, 3 means the value is 9, 4 means the value is 16. In supervised learning, the machine learning algorithm train. Train means one is the training function, one is the training data, one is the testing data, one is the test data. Train data means, suppose I have some samples points, okay. So then actually in supervised learning we generally divide the data sets in two parts. One is the train part, one is the test part. Train part, let this is my train data and this data is called as my test data, right? Then the model is trained on this data. This data means here this is the output, this is called input also, this is the output also, this is also called output. Okay, every input has some output, means the model will be trained on this data set. Means model in this supervised learning, the model has input as well as output. This is the training part. And the in the test case, the model will train means some unknown samples. It means model will train. Suppose it will predict some value, means model will train 1 and the output is 1. The model will train 2 and the output is 4, 3 and the output is 9, 4 and the output is 16. So see in the test case, the model will predict or test on these data sets. Means suppose it will predict 5, means 5 is the input. What is the output? The output, exact output will be 25. The model may predict 25.5. In the input for input 6, the model may predict 37. That is the 7 for 7, the model may predict 50. For 8, the model may predict 64. Right? This is called actual output. This one is 5 the 25, 6 is the 36, and 7 is the 49, 8 is the 64. This is called actual output. This is called actual output. But this value is called predicted output. This value is called, this one is called predicted output. So what is the predicted error? The predicted error is equal to predicted output minus actual output. Predicted output means here 25.5 minus 25 means 0.5 is my error. This is the process of actually supervised learning. But unsupervised means, since supervised learning, at the time of training, every input must have the output. But in case of unsupervised learning, no need the output. But in case of unsupervised learning, no need any output. Means suppose input equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my input, but no need any output. Some examples of unsupervised learning is k-mean clustering, some another example is spectral clustering, right? Suppose some of the supervised learning method, some of the supervised learning example is linear regression, logistic regression, right? Support vector machine, SVM, some back propagation neural network, some stream learning machine, like this. These are some examples of supervised learning. One more algorithm is reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning means, suppose I have some states. If the states will, let this state is q0, and another state is Q1. If the state goes to this state, if suppose this is the one, suppose if Q1 goes to Q2, either it will be rewarded, or if suppose my input is Q0 must go to Q1, but some if suppose Q2, suppose if Q0 will go to Q1, sorry,
వాళ్ళు పోస్ట్ పోన్ చేస్తుంది కూడా పోరాలు ఒకటే ఆ ఇంటి పొందల
sorry,
ఆన్ చేసిందా
సార్ ఎందుకంటే డిప్లొమా పిల్లలు పాపం
చిన్న పిల్లలు
ఎగ్జామ్స్ చాలా పిల్లలకు
ఈ బీటెక్ పొరాలకి ఏమో
కొంచెం కాఫీ అయినా రాపియాలి ఇలా గ్రాఫిక్స్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ వస్తుంటది వీళ్ళకి
sorry, you want to ask some questions?
సార్ ఏదో ఎడిపోయింది
All the participants are requested to mute from their end, please. Maintain your discipline.
కరావాలి నిజంగా ఆ ప్రిన్సిపల్ గారు ఒకప్పుడు ఒకడే చూసుకుంటుంటాడు
Sorry, please mute yourself. Can I start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Generally, these are the some algorithms, means machine learning algorithms like supervised, unsupervised reinforcement, and some other algorithms like semi-supervised learning. Semi-supervised, it is just a combination of supervised and unsupervised combination. But one means important algorithm is supervised is a very important. But in real life, we generally use the supervised learning algorithm. Today, we'll discuss one more supervised learning algorithm. The next problem is underfitting problem and overfitting problem. What is the meaning of underfitting problem and overfitting problem? Whenever we are designing the model, we always face these two problems, underfitting and overfitting problems. But these two problems generally we face in case of supervised learning, not other learning algorithms like unsupervised, semi-supervised or reinforcement learning. But this is the very important. Whenever those people are particularly implementing the neural networks like or some other algorithms like all deep learning algorithms, you will face these two problems. Okay, what is the meaning of underfitting problem? Here, underfitting problem. All participants, please mute yourself.
ఇస్తా సార్ నేను మాట అంటే మాట మీరు ఉండరు మాట మీద నేనుంటా
I request to host to please request them to mute themselves. Okay. First one is the underfitting problem. Hello. Yeah. What is the meaning of underfitting problem? Generally, there are two types of error. One is the train error. One is the train error means training error. One is the test error. Okay. Whenever we are designing the model, first we'll just find the train error. If train error is high, then it is called as underfitting problem. If train error is high, this is called underfitting problem. But in case of overfitting problem, let the train error is very good. If train error is very poor, in case this is called underfitting problem. But in case of overfitting problem, let the train error is very good, means for like 99.99%. This is the train error. If the test error is 30%, that is called overfitting problem. Okay. Suppose if the train error is poor, means why this underfitting problem happens? Why this underfitting problems happen in supervised learning? That means whenever we are designing the machine learning model, means it is under constructed or it is very poor model, then in this case generally we will face the underfitting problem. But in case of overfitting problem, let the training error is very good, model is well trained. But if the model is well trained, the model must provide the better accuracy in case of test data. But in this case, it just provide the 30%. That means in this case, this is called the poor generalization performance. This is called poor generalization performance. So we have to avoid this overfitting problem. Training error, underfitting problem is not a major issue. Whenever you are designing very poor machine learning model, then in this case you will face this underfitting problem. But overfitting problem is a major issue in supervised learning, or in case of deep learning or any machine learning algorithm, means any neural network algorithms, right? So how to avoid this overfitting problem? There are many algorithms are there. There are many algorithms are there. Some of the regularization method, or dropout regulations like L1, like L2, some dropout regulation method. These are some methods are there, some regulation methods. We can avoid the overfitting. Okay. See here, in underfitting problem, the train accuracy, here this is the actual data, red color. Sorry, this one is the actual data, and this red color is the, this means this is not properly fitted, means the training accuracy is very poor. But in case of overfitting, the the actual and predicted data is exactly fitted. But in case of this is the exactly fitted, but in case of it is also, in this case also same. In this case, generally the test error will be high. This is called overfitting problem. How to avoid this overfitting problem? One is the cross validation method, one is the pruning method, one is the regulation, means there are different types of I just told you, I just explained L1, L2 and dropout regulations. But time is very short, I can't discuss the detailed explanation of what is the meaning of regulation, cross validation, pruning, like this. Generalization means whenever the training error is very low and testing error is very high, this is called, means the generalization performance is very poor. So generalization is a tax on learning machine performance when it makes prediction about the new inputs and it has not seen before. A learning machine develops a generalization ability by learning to predict from training examples. Means every machine learning model must have good generalization performance. Okay. How to design a machine learning model? First thing is the load data. The second step is called pre-process the data. If the data has some means if the data contains, suppose data is imbalanced, pre-process the data means here the data may contains imbalanced data set. The data may contain imbalanced data. Imbalanced data means suppose there are suppose for example a classification problem. It is a two class problem. Two class means suppose class 1 contains 100 number of samples and class 2 contains 5 number of samples. This is the data is imbalanced. The total data is 105. Now we have to balance this data set, means we have to add some data points like C2, means category 2, means just I will add 95. I will add 95. This data is called imbalanced data. If the data is imbalanced data, we have to balance the data set. After balancing the data set, then C1 contains 100. I will just add some 95. I'll just add 95 samples of category 2. That means C2 contains 100 number of samples. Okay, this is called imbalance data. There are some different other methods like some noisy data. If the data contains some noisy information, so we have to remove this noise from the data sets. Suppose another is if the data is not proper scale in the sense, suppose one data contains suppose some samples are like x 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Suppose one more sample is this is and 1, this is the then 8, so then 9. Okay, these samples, suppose x contains 1 2 3 4 like this, and one sample is 10,000, means the data is not a proper scale. So we have to scale this data set, or we have to normalize these data sets from 0 to 1, or some we can use also some standardization method like this. Okay, this is the second step, and the third step is the train the model. Train the model on this. If means pre-process of the data. If the data is properly pre-processed, no need to any pre-process the data. Okay, train the model on train data. First we have to train the model. We have to train any machine learning model on the train data. The second one, use the trained machine learning model to generate predictions on test data. Okay, then measure the performance of the model. Suppose for regression purpose, we can use any absolute. We can use any error methods like prediction error methods like absolute error, relative error, mean square error, like this. But for classification, we have to find it. We can use the measure performance measure is accuracy, F1 measure, recall, AUC performance measures like this. Okay. Now we'll discuss the first one of the popular neural network is the back propagation neural network. Back propagation neural network. First thing, what is the meaning of neural network? Generally, a feed-forward neural network contains three layers. One is the input layer, one is the hidden layer, one is the output layer. Right? Input layer, suppose these are some neurons. It contains three inputs. Let it is X1, it is contains X2 and X3. Hidden layer, the hidden layer contains four neurons. This one, and this is H1, this is H2, and this is H3, and this is H4. And this is my outlet. The output layer contains one layer. This is output O1. Now I'll connect every node to each and every node. of input layer and hidden layer. This one and this one. Okay, this is called as the input to hidden layer connection, and now I will connect the hidden layer to output layer. Okay, now I will assign some weights. I will assign some weights or also bias also. These are the weights. Let it is W hidden layer means 1 1. Let it is W12. It is W13, W14, and the second similarly W21 like this. This is W31 up to W34, and hidden layer means this is let it is W. This is the 1. Okay, hidden layer means W1 to 111. This is W112. Let it is W113. Let it is W114. Right. This is the connection between hidden layer to output layer. Remember one thing: whenever we are performing some regression of prediction tags, the output layer always contains one output layer. The output layer always contains one output layer. Suppose this is called as the regression tag. Regression output always contain one node. Suppose for classification like binary classification. Binary classification always the output node always contains two nodes, means here always contains two layers. Suppose it is a 3 classification. The classification contains output is 3. Means for 3 class classification means the output node always contains 3 nodes: O1, O2, O3. Okay, means suppose it is a binary classification means this is let it is O1 and let it is O2. Okay, this will again contain like this. This is called as the binary classification method. Means it is called feed forward neural network. Feed forward neural network. Now we will see what is the meaning of back propagation neural network. BPNN. Back propagation neural network. What is the goal? The goal of back propagation neural network is to optimize the weights so that the neural networks can learn how to correctly map arbitrary inputs and outputs. This is one of the neural network. It contains I1, I2. This means the input layer contains 2 nodes. The hidden layer contains 2 nodes H1 and H2. The output node contains 2 nodes O1 and O2. Means this is a binary classification problem. This is a binary classification because the output node contains, the output layer contains 2 nodes. So this is called binary classification problem. Every input node and hidden node is connected to each other. The first input value is here 0.05, means I1 value equal to 0.5. In this I2 equal to 0.1. The first, this is let this weight is equal to first weight. This is these weights are called as input to hidden node weights. The weights first weight W1 equal to 0.15. The second weight W2 equal to 0.2. The third weight we just assign W3 equal to 0.25. The fourth weight like this 0.3. And similarly we just assign some weights like from hidden node to output node. Right? These are some output values. O1 equal to means this is called as the actual output. This is called as the actual output. Now we will predict some different output, then we will find the error. Now we will assign some bias. B1 equal to, let this first bias for hidden nodes means B1 equal to 0.35. The next we assign the B2 means the second bias means 0.6 for the output node. How to calculate this back propagation neural network? See here. First we will calculate. Remember, every back propagation neural network contains two passes. First pass is called as the forward pass. The second pass is called as the backward pass. First pass is called forward pass. Forward pass. Forward pass means how to calculate. See here H1. The formula is equal to, how to calculate the input of H1. Input of H1 equal to Wi into W1 into I1 plus W3 into I2 plus B1. Means this H1 equal to, just see which nodes are connected with H1. The nodes connected. Sorry. Okay. I1 is connected, I2 is connected, and this bias B1 is connected to H1. Now H1 equal to W1 into I1 and W3 into I2 plus B1. So now we'll find the first means this is called net H1. Net H1 means input of H1 equal to W1 into I1 plus W2 into I2 plus B1 into 1. B1 into 1 means this value equal to, sorry, B1 into 1 means, sorry, not this is 1, this is just B1. Okay. Now just put the value. W1 value equal to is here, W1 equal to 0.15 and I1 equal to 0.05. W1 equal to 0.15 into 0.05. Then plus W2 and I2. W2 H1 W3 into, sorry, W3 is connected. Okay, W3 means 0.25 and I2 means 0.1. Value is 0.25 into 0.1. 0.25 into 0.1 plus B1 value equal to value equal to 0.35. 0.35. Now calculate, let the value equal to some, just take some random values, 0.38, right? This is the net of H1. Then we'll pass this input value. Now means in this way we just calculate the input of H1. Now we'll find the output of H1. Output of H1 means, we'll just pass these input values to activation function. Let the activation, we'll use some logistic functions. Out of H1 equal to 1 by 1 plus e to the power minus x. Minus x means x equal to net of minus x. Minus x means E1 by 1 plus e to the power minus net of H1 means 1 by 1 plus e to the power minus this value means 0.38. Hence this is gives some value like let this value equal to 0.59. Let this value. Similarly, we can calculate H2. Similarly, we can calculate this H2, O1 and O2. This is the let similarly we can calculate out of. Now actually important point is here. Now we are just find the final value of O1 and O2. Final value of O1 and O2 equal to out of O1 equal to let it is 0.75 and out of O2 equal to 0. Let it is 75. Let it is 0.25. Right. This is the out. Why we are using activation functions? Activation functions actually the aim of the activation. Suppose we will use this activation function. Let the activation function means this neuron means the activation function will decide whether this neuron will activate or not. Suppose we will use some of the logistic activation function or logistic function, then it will logistic function means it will just pass all values between 0 to 1. All values between 0 to 1. If my suppose h1 value equal to 0.75, if h1 value equal to 0.5 means the middle value is 0.5. If the value is greater than means between 0.5 to 1 means the particular neuron will activate. Otherwise, this neuron will not activate. This is the meaning of activation function. So now we just find this is called as the forward pass. Okay. Now find the error. Okay. Now we'll find the first error. The first error, the actual output is 0.01. Let it is the error O1 equal to 0.01 and O2 equal to 0.99. Here O1 equal to 0.01 and O2 equal to 0.99. This is my actual output. But this value is called as my predicted output. Okay. Please participants mute to yourself. Okay, the first error, here error E total equal to let target means target value minus output value means our predicted output minus actual output. This is the summation. Let I just add some and some constant value. Predicted minus actual. Actually, you can give. I'll just add some square because the value may be negative. That's why I just add square. Okay. The E total. So the first value first output equal to means error of E01 equal to half predicted minus actual. Predicted means which value? 0.75. Actual means 0.01 square. Let the value equal to some value equal to 2748. And similarly, we can also calculate E of O2. E of O2 equal to let this value equal to 0.0235. Now we'll find the E total. E total means here it is the summation value. Summation means E total equal to E of O1 plus E of O1 plus E of O2. E of O1 equal to 0.2748 plus 0.235. What is the value? The value is equal to 0.2983. This is my actually error. This is my actually error. The error equal to 0.2983. Now this is now I have completed the forward pass. So here error is very high, around 0.3. 0.3 means it is a high error also, means the training error is high. We now will minimize this error. How to minimize this error? How to minimize this error? Now we will minimize this error using backward pass. Using backward pass. In the backward pass, we will minimize this error. How to minimize? This is the 0.3, this value. Generally in mathematics we are using derivation, and integration to generally we are using derivation and integration either minimize a function or maximize a function. Whenever we will maximize a function, then in this case we will use integration. When we will minimize a function, then in this case we will use derivative. Since means error is high, we have to minimize the error. So we will use derivative. See, means we will minimize the error. See, in this case, error value equal to 0.3 means this means minimize. In the backward propagation neural network, this error will depend on these OS and also bias. That means we will minimize these OS in the back propagation neural network. Okay, so now we'll update these OS. Okay, how to update? How to update these OS? Here, these are the some formulas. These words means Wi plus means this is the new word equal to Wi. Wi means this is called old word minus eta del E total of del W, and derivative of E total. I'll update this W5. I'll update this W5. W5 means W5 plus equal to W5 minus eta into del E total divided by del W5. Okay, this W5 is called to the new weight. This W5 is called old weight. This eta is called learning rate or step function. Learning rate or step function. This one is also called, this is called gradient. Okay, how now? Here W5 is already there. Eta, we have to choose this learning rate. The default learning rate equal to 0.1. If the learning rate is very high, the global minima points means the results may diverge. If the learning rate will very low or very small, like 0.00000 like 1, means the global minima will converge on a small point, but will converge on global minima, but it is very slowly. Means the algorithm will take much more time to execute. So it is very important to choose the learning rate. Now I'm just taking the default learning rate is 0.1. Now we have to calculate del E total divided by del W5. how to calculate here? Del E total divided by del W5. Del E total divided by W5 equal to del, how to calculate here? Del E total divided by del out of O1 into del out of O1 divided by del net of O1 into del net of O1 divided by del W5. Means it's just a chain rule. It's just a chain rule of derivation. Chain rule of derivation. Del E total is depend on this. This is the output, and this output is depend on this input, and this input is depend on hidden node, and this hidden node is depends. Sorry, this is the W5. This del E total depends on this output. This output is depend on this input, and this input is depends on this W5. Similarly, you can calculate also W6, W7 like this. Okay, let this value, you can also calculate these derivatives. Let this value equal to let this value equal to 0.5. This is the 0.4 and this is the 0.434157, and just multiply all. Let this value equal to 0. Suppose some 45. Okay, so the new weight equal to W5. The old weight equal to W5 value equal to 0.4. This value equal to 0.4. This value equal to 0.4, and this value let it is 0.1, and this value equal to let it is 0.5. Okay, now you can also calculate. This is this value you can also find out. Similarly you can calculate every, you can update all OS. Similarly we can update all OS, means W5, W6, W7, W8, W1, W2, W3 and W4. This is the one forward pass and one backward pass. This is called one iteration. Just minimize the errors until you get a better training error. Let the training error equal to 0.01. You can stop here. Okay, this is the overall of backpropagation algorithm. Now we will implement through Python. How? If any doubt, you can ask me in backpropagation neural network.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Okay, tell me.
Sir, how do you calculate the learning rate? I mean, how do you calculate that eta?
Eta value. Okay. Actually, there is no methods to calculate the learning rate. Actually, it depends on the default value is 0.1, but it depends on the data set. If you have some small data, you can use the default rate. Otherwise, you have to tune. Means let it is 0.01, 0.02. You can choose in this method. It is a lengthy process, but there is no algorithms to decide the learning rate. Okay.
I mean, in this calculation, what should be the value of eta here?
0.1. The default value is 0.1. First, you can choose the 0.1. After that, if the error rate is high, you can minimize.
Then it can be 0.02 or something like that.
Yeah. Don't take means very small value. Otherwise, it will convert. It will take more time to convert. Okay.
Yes. It will be low converge. Yeah. Okay.
Or if you will take some value like 1.2, 1.3 like this, it will diverge us. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It will not reach on the global minima.
Okay.
Okay. Or any other question?
No, thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay. Hope all of you install any Python environment like Anaconda. If not, try to install. Okay, you can download this Anaconda from here. If you have installed, no need to install again. If I just give you 10 minutes to please install all of your Anaconda, then I'll start the implementation part. Please download and install.
I'll request all the participants to please coordinate and install Anaconda as instructed. And please confirm in the chat box if you have done already. Also, sir, we have received a question asking, can we use Google Colab?
Yeah, you can use Google Colab.
Okay, sir.
Hope all of you instant. Can you start? Or wait?
Yes, sir, we should proceed. We have already received a lot positive responses.
Okay, okay.
We can proceed.
Okay. Please, all of you, open the Anavata Navigator and click on Jupyter. Those are using also Google Colab. You can also start the Jupyter. Please, all of you start Jupyter. Okay. After click on Jupyter, in launch, then you will see the one page like this. And click on New Python 3. Click on New Python 3. Okay. And you can also rename this one. Suppose this is your lab 1 like this. Okay. Then you can start the code from here. Okay. Okay. This is your lab 1. Rename. Okay. So hope all of you have a little bit knowledge on Python. Today I will not discuss about the Python, what is the meaning of Python and how to write the code. I'll just explain the code means in the machine learning point of view. Okay. See, just remember all steps of a machine learning model. The first step is the load data. The first step is load data. Now, is it visible? Okay.
Yes, sir, it's
Oh,
visible.
okay. The first step is the load data. It is a very simple back propagation neural network. Okay. The first step is the load data. For data loading, we'll just use pandas library, and NumPy is the all numerical calculations. We will use NumPy, and pandas generally we are using all the data preprocessing and also the data loading. Right? Import pandas as PD and import NumPy as NP. First step is my load data. PD and just now before going to this, I'll just explain the data sets. Here I have one data set like ANT 1.5. It is a software fault prediction data set, right? You can use any types of data set for your algorithm. This is a software fault prediction data set and it is a binary classification program. This data set contains the binary classification. So this is my target value. This is my target output or output value, and these are called my all are inputs. Means it contains 20 features or 20 input values. Means I1 to I20. Okay, this contains one output value. Each output contains, it is a binary classification problem. 0 means it is one class, 1 means it is the another. Let it is 0 means class 1 and 1 means it is a class 2 problem. Okay, that means my data set contains 20 inputs and 1 output, and the output is a binary classification problem. Binary classification problem means it has two nodes in the output layer, class 1 and class 2. Okay, these are my data sets, right? So now I just read the data. right there. Now I just read import data, just load the data and just print here what the data looks like. Wait, see, this is my, these are the inputs. You can also see these are the inputs and these are my outputs. Bug is my output. You can see all data sets like this. Okay, these are the bugs and these are my inputs. Okay, the next one, I just load the inputs. Inputs means I1 to I20. And these are my inputs: WMC2, average, CC. These features are called as these inputs. These are my inputs. These features are called inputs. I just load these all inputs in input data and all outputs in output data. You can also see. Now I just print input. You can see all input values. You can see here all input values means the values from WMC2 average CC. Our start value is equal to WMC. See, the last value equal to means average CC. You can similarly you can see the output values also. Sorry. You can see the output values. These are the box. Okay, these are called my output values. Okay. The first step of the machine learning model is load the data. Hope all of you have no doubt in how to load the data and this related question. If any doubt, you can ask me how to load the data. Remember, these are the CSV file. These are the CSV file. So that's why I write pd.read_csv. There are different files are there, some text file and like this, some JSON file like this. You can also, if the file is text file, you can use some different syntax is also. Since it is a CSV file, so I use pd.read_csv. Okay. The next step is pre-process the data if required. Okay. Remember one thing is, if you are using neural network or deep learning model, always pre-process must be required. Pre-process must be required. So the first pre-process is check the data contents. There are, if the data is imbalanced, you can balance algorithm. If the data contains any some means the range of the data means how here one data means one feature contains the values like 9, 8, like 15 like this. One here, let's say one LCOM3. This feature contains the means all feature values like 0 0.0 means 0 to 2, between 0 to 2. See, one feature contains RFSC feature contains the values like 34, 39 like this. Means these all features means these features are not in proper scale. So we have to scale. These features. You can use standardization. You can use min max scale. These types. I'm just using here min max normalization. Min max normalization is equal to from sklearn.preprocessing import min max scalar. A scalar equal to min max scalar, feature range equal to 0 to 1. Generally, this is the standard form. You can also use some other forms -1 to 1, or you can use 0 to 1. Okay. These are the 0 to 1 and -1 to 1 is the standard form. Okay, so I just normalize all input values. I just normalize all input values. Means normalized input equal to scalar feed transfer. This is my input because I store my all input values in input variable. So I normalize between all input values. You can also see. What is the input in this case? Int input see all values contains different scale because this is the raw input values. One input contains 9, 8 like this. One input contains 0.1 like this. Okay, after normalizing, see, after normalize, we'll see what is the input values. Print normalized input. Sorry. Print normalized input. See all values means a range from 0 to 1. You can say all values. Okay, because as a scale, all means inputs from 0 to with a range from 0 to 1. Okay. Okay. Then the second step is over. If any doubt, you can ask me. The first step is load the data. The second step is the pre-process the data. Third step is train the model on the training data. Before training the model, first we have to split the data set into some training and testing parts. How to convert these data sets in training and testing parts? These are some libraries are there: train, test, split. Here, this is the function train, test, split. Okay. The normalized input means this value is called this. This is the normalized input. Then output. Output is like here. This is the output variable. Then here the test size is equal to 0.4. Test size is 0.4 means my test data contains 40% of the total data. If the test data is 40% means that remaining part of this data is contains, it is called train data. The remaining part of this data means it is 0.6. 0.6 means 60%. Means my train data is 60% and test data is 40%. Okay. So this contains the 4 variables. Input train means it contains the input means training data, input of the training data. It contains output train means output of the training data. Okay, this contains input of the test data, and this contains this output test means this contains the output value of the test data. Okay. Okay, these are not these are some length value calculations, not required. Okay. Every neural network or deep learning algorithm requires some categorical variable or one hot encoding. One hot encoding means the data set contains, it is a binary classification problem. In binary classification problem means binary classification problem, the output always contains 0, 1, 0, 1 like this, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0 like, means the output always contains 0 or 1, means class 1 is equal to 0 and class 2 equal to 1. Suppose it is a 3 class problem. Suppose it is a suppose in case of 3 class problem, it contains 0, means the output must be 0, 1 or 2. If it is a 4 class problem means the output is 0, 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 3. 0 means class 1, 1 means class 2, 2 means class 3, 3 means class 4. If it is, this is the actually the raw data. Now okay, class 1 means we have to convert this output variable into some one hot encoding or categorical variable. This is called one hot encoding. What is the meaning of one hot encoding? One hot encoding means if it is 0, we'll convert it as 0, 0. If it is 1, we'll convert 0, 1. Okay, 0. Suppose the value is a 3 class problem. That means we'll convert for 0, it is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. This is 2. Similarly, we can convert 0, 1, 2, 3. Like this, 0 means 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 and 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. It is a 3 class. This is called one hot encoding, or it is called categorical variable, right? See, now I'll convert the output variable means target of train. Target of means from keras.utils import to categorical. When the output train will convert this output train means this 0, 1 means this bog will be converted to target train. See, okay, we can the output print target train underscore train. Okay, you can see all values 1, 0, 0, 1 like this. Okay, you can also convert, remember 0, 0, 1, 0, or you can also convert 1, 0, 0, 1 like this. It's not matter. Okay, okay, after converting all the things, okay, train data is ready, my test data is ready. Train data ready, test data ready. Now I'll just apply the machine learning algorithm. Means I have train data and test data, right? I'll apply a machine learning or big back propagation learning algorithm on train data. Means apply means I'll just train using this train data. How? This is called one of the back propagation neural network. Okay, these are some libraries are available in Python. You can also use this algorithm. First, how to design. From keras.models, import sequential. From keras.layers, it is dense. Okay, sequential means it is a sequence layer. It is a sequence layer. Suppose I'm just using okay. Model.sequential means it will create a sequential model. It will create a sequential model. The next one is model.r dense 100 input dimension equal to 20 and activation function equal to ReLU. What is the meaning of this? Model.dense equal to dense 100 and input dimension equal to 20 and activation function. Remember, in my data set, ANT 1.5 data set, this data set contains 20 input variables. This is called 20 input variables. This is means this is the input variables, and 100 means the first, it will create the first hidden layer. It will create the first hidden layer. For example, it will create the first hidden layer. That means the first, this is my input layer, this is my hidden layer, this is my output layer, this is O1, sorry, this is my first input 1, 2, up to this of this input is sorry, I1, I2 up to I20. These are the inputs, and hidden layer contains 100, H1, H2 up to H100, and output node. Here the output node means dense 2. 2 means the output contains 2 nodes. Output contains 2 nodes because it is a binary classification problem. This is the O1 and this is the O2. You can also connect to all the nodes. Okay. If I will add 150, means the hidden layer will contains 150 number of hidden nodes, right? So this is the first layer. This is my first hidden layer. Suppose I want to add one more hidden layer. Then, so what is the meaning? This is my single hidden layer, or it is called shallow network. One more, I'll just add one more network. This is I1, I2, this is I3, this is I20. Hidden layer 1, this is called hidden layer 2. This is 1, this is 2 up to 100. This is the second hidden layer. This is the, let it is 1, 1, 2, 1, this is 101. This is, let it is 2, 1, 2, 2 up to 202. Sorry, 102, sorry. Okay, this is the first hidden layer, this is the second hidden layer, and the output layer is only 1. This is my input layer, and this is my output. Output is contained O1 and O2. You can also then, suppose if you want to add one more hidden layer, you can also add. Suppose if you want to add one more hidden layer, you can add many hidden layers. Okay. You can see the layer. This is my first layer, contains 100 nodes. This is my second layer, contains 100 nodes. This is my third layer, contains 100 nodes. This is my fourth layer, contains 100 nodes. This is my 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is my fifth layer, contains 100 nodes. And this is my output node, contains 2 nodes. Total parameters. Parameters means how many number of parameters will be required. See, tell me, this is my input. Oh, sorry. This is my input. How many parameters will be required in this layer? It has 20 layers. It's 20 nodes. It contains total 100 nodes. Means 20 into 100 means 2 into 0. 2 means 2000 number of nodes. Then I will add bias in each node of the hidden layer. Let it is 100, means I will add 100 nodes, means total 21 number of parameters I will use in the first layer. See here, I will add in the first layer. Similarly, if I will calculate for the second layer, it will be 10,100. 100 for 100 is just for bias. Okay. Similarly, this total number of parameters equal to 32,702 number of nodes will be required. Okay. Now my feed means forward pass is ready using this model. Now I will use one of the any one back propagation optimization method I will use. I'll use to optimize the weights. Okay, I'll use some RM optimization method. These are some different types of RM method, ADAG, ADAX, NADA. These are some different types of optimization methods are there. You can use any one optimization method. I just use ADAM optimization method. Okay, ADAM optimization method. Now I will compile this model using model.compile less binary cross entropy. If remember, since it is a binary classification problem, so that's why I am using binary cross entropy. Suppose if it is a regression problem, you can use any loss function is like MSE error or relative error or absolute error you can use. Okay, the matrix equal to, I'm just using here accuracy. If it is a regression problems, you have to use any of the regression errors like prediction errors like absolute error, relative error, like this. Okay, optimizer equal to ADAM, then model summary. You can see the summary of the model. Okay, then I'll fit, that means I'll train the model. I'll train the model. I'm just using the validation data. You can also use some validation data means here when I am dividing the data set, the total data, when I am dividing the total data, this is my train data, this is my test data. The test data is 0.4 means 40% is my test data. Let the total data is equal to 100. The remaining part is 60%, means 60% means 60 data. We can also use some validation means some 10% of train data. We can also use 10% of the train data as validation data. But the 10% data means 10 number of samples we can use also for validation data set. Okay, actually my data set contains, we can also use, but my data set contains very small number of samples, so I just use the test data as validation data set. If you have sufficient number of data sets or sufficient number of samples in your data set, you can use some validation data like suppose it is 0.2. If you will use, it is like suppose 0.2, that means 0. Means 20% of the 20% data of train data will be used for validation data sets. Okay, I'm not using because I have very small amount of data sets. Okay, I'm using test data as the validation data set. This is the epochs. Epochs equal to, I'm just using 100. Okay, epochs, I'm using epochs equal to 100. Epochs means, see, one forward pass and one backward pass is equal to 1 epochs. Okay, similarly the second forward pass and the second backward pass, this is called the second epochs, right? Then evaluate the model. I'll evaluate the model using evaluate function. Means I'll find the error or accuracy of train accuracy and test accuracy. So train accuracy equal to model.evaluate input train and target train, and test accuracy equal to model.evaluate equal to input test and target train. This is the similar thing, no need. And I'll predict after that, after evaluation the model, I will predict the model on test data, means input test. I will not give, or I will not provide any output of the test data. See here, I'll just y predict equal to model dot predict equal to input test. Okay. Now, since it is a classification problem, I'll use the confusion matrix. I'll use by using confusion matrix, we can find the accuracy, we can find the recall, we can find some different types of AUC measure. We can also find some F1 measure like this. Okay. Now I'll run this algorithm. wait for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. Now it will give the train accuracy equal to pura 100%, but the test accuracy is equal to 907. 907 means 91%. You can see this is my train accuracy, the blue color, and the orange color is my test accuracy. Actually here is also facing the overfitting problem. It's also facing the little bit overfitting problem, because it is the difference of training and testing accuracy is around 0.9. Okay, 0.9. You can also improve. You can also this train and test accuracy you can also improve by using different types of regulation method, like dropout regulation, L1 regulation, L2 regulation, like this type of. Okay, if any doubt you can ask me. If you need this code, you can collect from the host. Okay, I'll provide all slides and code to the host team. If you need, you can ask them.
Sir, can you repeat one thing?
Okay, tell me.
You said something about that you, in case of prediction model, you're
Okay, sir.
using mean square error, I mean absolute error for finding the accuracy, right? No?
Sorry.
Whenever we're using one machine learning model for prediction purpose,
Okay,
yeah,
sir.
for it,
Prediction means you are asking, sir, for regression.
yeah, exactly, sir.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So
Tell
that
me.
part could you explain again? I mean, how to find out that accuracy? So you are using that mean square error, I mean
Okay.
absolute. Yeah.
How to find?
And how? in case
Actually,
of
this one is for binary classification. I think you want to ask how to perform this deep learning or this neural network model for regression purpose. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Or some different questions you want to ask.
No. Yes, sir,
Okay.
that one. Please repeat.
Okay. All things are same. Okay. Remember, at the time of compilation, here you have to use this loss. Loss is some mean square error or some different thing. Okay, mean square error or some average absolute error, like this. Then this matrix equal to some error value. Okay, no need to accuracy. I think all things are same. Okay. But this is the difference. Suppose if you want to use some for 3-class problem, this is actually I forget this loss function for 3-class problem, but you can use. You have to use just change this one. Okay, this is the okay. Or any questions?
No, it's okay, fine.
Any other questions?
Sir, I want to do some research in machine learning. Which area
Okay.
is good to explore?
First thing you have to explore. Okay. For example, like I am working in natural language processing and software fault prediction and malware data. Okay. So you have to choose which data means in which area you will work. Okay. Suppose if you want to work in image processing, you can also explore image processing. Okay. But try to understand which area is interesting, very interesting, and which area you are interested first. There are a lot of applications are there, means for machine learning. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'll request the participants to drop their queries in the chat box if they have any.
Yeah, ma'am, I have one question to Professor. Professor,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Tell me.
yeah, sir, actually, for calculating the accuracy, in case of regression, yeah, in case of classification, right?
Mhm.
One case we're using mean square error, yeah, mean absolute error that you have shown in that code, no? Actually, in which my question is that in which case we should use mean square error, yeah, absolute error, and in which case we should
Okay,
go
okay.
for that confusion matrix, that other
Okay, okay.
recall, etc. Are you getting my question, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I got your point.
yeah.
Actually, if you are using suppose some prediction algorithms, like suppose you want to predict the salary of all employees of a company. Okay. In that
Okay.
case, because you will predict the salary of all employees of a particular company. So in this case, you have to use some errors. Either you can use mean square error, you can use average absolute error, you can use also average relative error like this. Okay. But there is no algorithm which particular errors I will use for prediction or regression purpose. There is no algorithms. Okay. But
Okay.
for classification purpose, you have to use some loss functions like binary cross entropy. Binary cross entropy means it will be used for binary. Okay. But if it is a multi-class problem, if it is multi-class means more than two class problem, you can use some loss. Actually, I forget. Actually, it is some different cross entropy. You can also check in Google. Okay. Means for classification means it is we will use some cross entropy. If it is a prediction problem, or sorry, not prediction, everyone is a prediction problem. If it is a regression problem, you can use some means some errors. Errors means mean square error, MSME, or average absolute error, like this. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I got it. Thank you. Thanks. Nice presentation and everything, sir. Till now, whatever session I have attended, it is one of the best sessions, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay. Welcome. Sir.
Any more questions do we have?
Ma'am, you please share this source code. Actually, the previous session PPT and everything we got it, and this session PPT and this sample code you please.
Okay, sir. We will mail it. Once we receive it from the experts, we will mail it.
Yeah. Okay.
Have we got any more questions? I think that's all. Sir, we got a question in the chat box. Which area in machine learning is best to explore for research related work?
Okay, actually, it's a very difficult questions for me. Actually, there are a lot of applications you can explore. Okay, that depends on your interest. I'll also means work on the agriculture, means agriculture applications now. I'll work. That depends on you. I can't give the suggestion. If you want, ask me some suggestion. I'll always means suggest you means my research area. Okay. So first you have to you explore. Otherwise you can ask me. Okay.
Okay, sir. So what sir wanted to say is to explore. So we will end it here. Thank you so much, sir, for this excellent piece of knowledge you deliver to the gathering. A practical session is all a beginner asks for. So thank you for providing this practical learning experience to all our participants. And I'm sure this must help our AIML aspirants to progress abundantly in the future. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Can I start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Pravas.
Okay, so now we have come to an end of day 3 of this FTP. All are requested to fill the attendance form provided in the chat box properly. Failing which you will be considered absent. So please enter your FTP ID correctly as instructed. I'd like to thank all our speakers for making time from the busy schedules and putting efforts towards boosting our existing knowledge. And to our audience, we really appreciate your patience and cooperation throughout today's program. We'll again meet tomorrow in this platform with same energy and enthusiasm for another exciting session. Okay, let me inform you that tomorrow the session will start exactly at 7:30 in the morning. Mark the time, 7:30 in the morning. So please refer to the respective link and don't fail to be on time. We will have an energetic session on yoga. So please don't miss it. That's all for today. So with all your good wishes, let's conclude today's program here. You can leave the meeting. Thank you and have a good day.